Good morning, y'all. The ground's froze this morning. Well, I think a lot of it's actually dried out because of the wind we were having last night and yesterday, but it's still cold enough that the ground somewhat froze this morning. So I'm gonna get these firewood cages off of the trailer here while the ground's froze. I won't be making a mess out here tracking it up with the tractor. And then we're gonna go make a trip to Lowe's and get us some posts for the garden project out here. So come along. If anybody is interested in these things and you're anywhere in North Carolina, probably worth the drive. But, or even Southern Virginia, shoot us an email and we'll get back with you, and I'll give you the guy's phone number. But I'm not going to give out any information on a video here because I don't figure he'd probably take too kindly to that. But if you are interested in buying some of these, he's still got plenty of them. Yeah, I don't know for sure yet. I may still go back and get me just a few more just to have some extras. But right now this puts us at having 30 total, and I think that's probably going to be enough for now. So I'm going to try to take these off double stacked just like they are, and that'll save me several trips back and forth. I hope I can get them 2 at a time. But my tractor's sitting on uneven ground. Makes it a little more difficult than it should be. I hope I don't sling that one off. All right. Oh no! I can't believe that's sitting there without falling off. Whoa! It amazes me how well these things stay together when they're stacked like that. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm going to try to reach the other side from this side, so I ain't having to drive all the way around the tractor, around the trailer. I believe I can. All right. Look at that. Y'all tell me how in the world that top basket ain't falling off of there. It's like they're glued together. You know, I just thought about it. They may be froze together. Oh no! Oh no! I knew that was going to happen. You gone? Huh? All right. Love you. Okay. When I get these done, I'm going to Lowe's. Bye. Love you. All right, well, I got them all off the trailer, so let's head to Lowe's. Well, I just got loaded up with my 6x6s, and I'm gonna tell you what. Apparently, first thing in the morning is not the time to go to Lowe's Hardware and get loaded up with something if you're in somewhat of a hurry, because all the contractors and everything else are there getting loaded up, getting ready for the day or whatever, and I've been there a while. But anyways, we got them loaded up now. We got 14 of them. Of course, I don't need 14 for the fence, but I went ahead and bought enough for the shed I want to build too, and I'll use the other ones for the post for the shed. We're heading home finally. All right, we finally made it back. About an hour and 40 minutes later. Come on, girl. That's one downside to living where we live. Of course, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, but when you need to make a trip to town, to somewhere like that, you might as well plan on setting quite a bit of time aside for it. But here we are. Got 14 of them on there. 6 of these will be used for the garden, and the other 8 are going to be used for the shed that I'm going to build down here on the bottom side of the goat fence. And I kind of done this on purpose. I knew, well, for one, it'll save me another trip from going to Lowe's to get more 6x6s. But also, I knew that if I had these posts laying around, then that would somewhat force me to go ahead and get started on the shed that I want to build too, because that's also one of the other big projects I want to get done this winter. I've still got my post hole digger hooked up to the 2600 here from way back when I fixed the fence down here below the barn. So it's been about that long since this 2600 was ran, so I hope it cranks, because it's cold out here. That tractor don't like cold weather. All right, we'll let that tractor warm up for a few minutes. Getting all smoky under there. So for anybody who might have not caught it in the last video, or might have not seen the last video, we're expanding our garden fence this year, and that's what I'm going to be doing with these posts. And instead of having just 3 beds right here, we're going to turn this whole area into garden. There'll be raised beds in here and tilled garden, so I'll have both of, we'll have tilled stuff and raised beds all inside this fence. What I'm going to be doing today is getting started putting the post up. So the way I've got this laid off, I'm going to need my auger bit to be just inside of this flag here. That flag represents the outside of the fence. So if I have my auger bit to just this side of it, I should be able to line my post up so everything's still straight in line. And that's the way I've got it all the way around. The flag represents the outside of the post. All right, we're ready for our post. So if you're wondering why in the world I dug that post so deep, well, number one, I've got plenty of posts to work with, being that I've got 16-foot posts here. And number two, when you stretch that wire out tight, those posts have quite a bit of pressure on them, so the deeper it is, the more stable that post will be. In the corners, I probably will put some bracing. See how I've got that one done, and that one done, and way out yonder done. Come on. There we go. Whew. So I picked up this snazzy little post level here. Anyways, it just straps to the post. I'd never seen one of those before till just the other day. This thing straps to the post, and I'm assuming you don't have to move a level from one side to the other. There we go. Put a little dirt in there and then we'll get it right. So we got it that way. Got it that way. Cool deal. That's kind of hard to get them to stand up while you're trying to get them right in the hole. But once you get you a little bit of dirt around them, they'll stand there and let you get the rest tamped. And we're still level. I know y'all have heard me say it before, but this red clay we have around here, that's a good thing that I found some of that while I was digging this post, because this red clay really packs down around a post. And you don't much have to worry about using no concrete or anything like that. Not in our area anyways. And I know somebody's probably going to also ask, why didn't I mill me some post on the sawmill? Well, number one, I don't have anything to mill any out of. And then also, the only thing I can think of that would last in this situation would be locust. And I ain't seen a locust around here straight enough and long enough in years to get a 16-foot post out of. You could use something like white oak, and it would probably last for a little while. But these treated posts should probably last me and Megan the majority of our gardening years. I did mention in the last video that I wasn't going to cut these posts off, but after I got to thinking about it, I had to really remember. I did cut these posts right here off. I think I cut them off to where they were 10 foot tall. So that's what I'm going to do with this, because now that I'm looking at it, this one's sticking up quite a bit higher than the ones around the garden. And if I'm going to leave them sticking up like that, I at least want them to halfway match what's already on the other garden. So we'll cut them off once we get done with everything. Well, I believe that was my original plan, was I was going to have me a 10-foot tall fence around that garden right there. So anyways, we'll cut these off right about 10 foot. I'll measure those just to make sure. But when you're tamping a post in, you want to use something that's heavy, that's got a really small point on the end like that, like a small blunt end. And where it's heavy and you're working with that little bit of an end right there, you'll get a lot of good compaction around that post. If you were to use something wide, you wouldn't get that good of compaction. Using these little bitty tamps like that right there, it really takes a long time to do it. But you can get some real good compaction around that post. I think tamping post is probably one of my least favorite jobs. We're on borderline of being too muddy right here. But you can't do it when it's muddy, because your mud, you can't pack mud. You can't do it when it's too dry, because you can't pack loose dry dirt either. So your moisture conditions have to be just right. Like I said, we're just about borderline too wet. She's getting pretty firm now. All right, well, there's one. I'll do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times and I'll be done with the post.
Well, y'all, one thing on the list today is I'm going to be doing a little freezer organization. If you saw back in my food storage video here, I think it's been a couple months ago now, I had this giant upright freezer right at my back door is where that's set at. I've had that thing for 5 years. Not gonna lie to you, that thing's been a hunk of junk for the 5 years that I've had it. Had numerous warranty calls on it. But that's a different story for a different day. We went to Lowe's and they had these garage ready chest freezers on sale. So we went ahead and got us one. I went ahead and moved my stuff from the upright freezer out here to this freezer after we let it run for a day or so. And now, usually the way I keep my freezer organized with the upright freezer was these little plastic baskets that I got from the $1.25 tree. Well, that's not going to work in the chest freezer. And another reason I want a chest freezer, you know, to each their own, but I've had 2 upright freezers since we've been married, and chest freezer all the way. I like the way the chest freezers work better versus the way the upright freezers work. And I hope this one doesn't let me down. We'll just see. Have to keep an eye on it. But anyways, I've got a few different types of metal baskets. Just random, you know, random little things. But I thought these were cool. See that? They can adjust to whatever size you need them. And apparently I didn't put that screw in tight enough. But luckily it's pretty daggone chilly today. So I'm not too terribly worried about getting my meat in and out of the freezer. So I'm just going to start on. I'm just going to bite the bullet and start on it. But I've got these. I thought these were pretty neat. We'll see if they're all they're cracked up to be. But I liked them because they were adjustable. I've got these just wire metal baskets, and like this one's probably going to be too small to use in the freezer. I don't know, but I can always use it around the house for something. Found those on a lightning deal for super cheap on Amazon. And I've got these too, and these have got handles. They're just like half the size of these. These have handles too, like this. But I think I got maybe 8 of these. I can't remember. But that's the key thing with a chest freezer, to have success with one and not get plumb aggravated, is to keep your stuff organized. So my stuff is still in the plastic baskets. It's just kind of laid different ways. So I'm hoping this is not going to be too hard. We'll see. This is bacon. So, I have a lot of bacon. We'll see how it'll fit on these. And these little baskets, they're meant for freezers. These are ones with the handles. And they came with these little rubber feet so it don't like dent the bottom of your freezer. We'll see. We shall see. Well, they don't fit. They don't fit. The feet don't fit. Okay, scratch that. Never mind. Let's see. A stack. Maybe I should put those in a big one. Let's put those in a big one. I got lots and lots of bacon. And I actually have 2 chest freezers in here, so it's not going to be anything unusual for me to come out to the outbuilding right here and get what I need. It's just that upright freezer, we tried to keep it out here, and well, was not a great idea. Was not the smartest idea on our part. I'm going to see how these baskets work for this freezer, and then maybe I can go through and organize that one, because my old chest freezer that, I know y'all can't see it, but it's right here next to this one. It needs organization pretty bad. And these, another thing I liked about these, those handles fold down like that, and the next basket sits on the handles. There is a pack of sausage in there with my bacon. Where did you come from? Let's see. That's hog jaw. I can go in that one. Actually, I don't have a ton of hog jaw. Let's do this. Put it in this one. Hog jaw. Again. Hog jaw. All right, let's see what I can find next. I need some gloves for this. It's cold on my hands. Yeah, that's pretty nice. There we go. What's next can I find in here? This looks like some beef. Let's see what I got in this basket. You can see how these baskets, I mean, like, I've actually had these baskets for several years, and so considering they were only $1, they filled up fine. Like I said, I just can't stack on them because they will crumble into a million pieces. Let me see what I got in here. Breakfast steak. Looks like cube steak. Beef chips. Let's see how this works for some of these. I believe that will work. These bigger pieces, I will revisit that soon. And I know some people, when they have chest freezers, like to keep like a running tally, which would be, that's a fabulous idea. I just know that me personally, I would never remember to keep a tally because I'm in a hurry 99% of the time. Oh me, what's next? Yep, you hear that? Dusting off pieces. Alright, next it looks like I've got some steaks. Well, if they're all stacked up nicely like that, I can fit a bunch in there. Golly. Freezing my thumbs. I don't believe that's gonna work right nicely. And I may need to get more. I mean, I don't even know if I got enough, but maybe I do. Yeah, that'll work. Now, look at there.
So I'm gonna pull me a string from this corner post to the next corner post so I can make sure the middle post is directly in line with them all. And for whatever reason, I guess I wasn't using my head and I didn't think about doing it on this one. I put that post in first instead of this one. I should have put this post in first. And like I said, I guess I just wasn't thinking. And so while it's pretty close to being a straight line from here to there, it's off just a little bit, but being that it's up against the edge of these trees here, I don't guess it's gonna matter much because you can't see it. So here we'll put this flag right where I want the tip of my bit to go in the ground. All right. See here, now I have this string as a guide. That string represents the outside of the fence. And so as long as I've got the outside of the post flush with that string, then my fence will be completely straight down the line of post. I'm gonna tell y'all what, I was a little bit skeptical of this doodad right here, but I really like this. It makes it so much easier because you ain't tying up a hand with a level, and it just makes life a lot easier that thing stays on that post like that. Alright, well, we're leveled that way, but I'm touching the string. We're pretty close. Let's throw some dirt in there and let it see what it looks like. Perfect. I mean, it ended up being a lot better than I thought it was. Having these posts like in a perfectly straight line ain't quite as important on a fence. Of course, it is for aesthetics, because it don't look good if your posts are not perfectly straight. But if you're putting up a building and you've got a long run of posts like a pole barn or something, and then you're going to put a wall on the outside of that building, you know, if your post ain't perfectly straight, well, your beams up top ain't going to line up right. And then when you look down that wall, you're going to have this, unless you do something to counterbalance your post not being in line. Now, I've seen them done all different ways. I've seen some really crooked posts before holding up a building, and they work and they served a purpose, but they don't look good. And you know, when I look back on a lot of the stuff I make, I like it to look good, because I take pride in what I do, so you want it to look good. Well, there's one more post. Goes plumb up to the sky. I'll answer another question real quick here. Why in the world am I using such tall posts? Well, to get a 10-foot tall fence, there is no other option to go but a 16-foot post, because a 12-foot post, I'd only be able to put it 2 foot in the ground. I want at least a 10-foot tall fence sticking up here. Even though we never completely finished putting wire to the top of those posts, I want it there just in case I need it. When I finish this fence right here, it'll be done just like that one over there, with a 4-foot strand of dog lot wire all the way around it, and the taller T-post sticking up out of it. But like I said, that's all I'll do for now. If the deer start jumping that, at least I've got the post there available for me to go taller. That's been the whole plan all along. We just ain't had to. For some reason or another, the deer have not jumped that 4-foot high fence. But I want to blame part of that on the fact that I think it's an optical illusion, because we've got tall posts, and so the deer think that the fence is actually taller than it really is. I feel like I'm moving along pretty good out here today. I've only got 2 posts left to put up, and then that's probably all I'm going to do to this spot today. We got this post here, where the walk-in gate will be, and then this one right here where it's going to be another corner post. And yeah, that tree right there is probably going to add some shade to our garden, but we'll try to keep it limbed up the best we can, to at least so it'll minimize the shade. And something else that I've noticed, where the ground is so muddy, I am going to have to come back in here and tamp these posts one more time before I go to hanging my wire on it, because I can't really get a good pack around the post. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you can't really do a whole lot with mud.
More stakes here. So far, actually these, even though they're not huge, these are my favorites so far. These are not the ones that slide, it's the other ones. All right, I'm done. I'll show y'all the finished product. Look at that. See them stacked there? I've got some stacked back in here. You can't really tell. I made sure I've got enough room to move my drawer, but this thing was full when I started, and now I've got some extra space here. And that'll make it easier for me to move things around and get to things. So not necessarily, I know I still can't see everything that's in there, but for the most part, I have a mental note. I know what I've got, and I kind of keep up with what I'm out of, so on and so forth. It makes it easier if I need to get to something that's on the bottom of this thing, to just come in and take these baskets out and get to what I need to get to. So yeah, that's going to be nice. Very nice. So you can see that one back there with the junk piled on it. That one will be next, I guess. I do have to say, these smaller baskets with the handles by far seemed to be the easiest to use. Those ones that slid, they were so big they got kind of heavy, so I don't know how they'll hold up. We'll see. But this seemed to be the perfect size for the way my meat's packaged anyway. I'll be sure to link all these baskets where I got them from on Amazon if you want to look into them yourself. I do have to say these weren't exactly what I would call cheap, so we'll just see how the quality is on all of them.
All right, y'all. There it is. Last post is in the ground. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I impressed myself today. I did not expect I would have all of these posts in the ground this evening. I'm gonna give part of the credit to that thing right there though. That's got to be the handiest little thing I've ever used when it comes to putting up a post, especially a square post like this. I don't know how it'd work on a round one. I don't see why it wouldn't work on a round post. But on a square post, works great. Keep your hands freed up all the time. Like I said, I just picked that up at a tool store here a couple days ago, and now I'm glad I did. So I'm leaving my string up because that's going to give me a reference line to go with my T-post. We'll just space out T-post probably every, I don't know, 7 or 8 feet, something like that. So, and right here, this hole right here will be the walk-in gate, just like we have right here on this garden. But anyways, I guess that's going to do it for me today on this project. All right, y'all. It's about supper time, and I'm pretty sure, I bet you we got some country ham cooking. I smell it. There's got to be some country ham cooking in here.
Yep.
I knew it.
You smell it from a mile away.
It smells so good.
Guess we're going to have country ham and just scrambled eggs and some jelly and toast tonight. That don't sound too bad, though, does it?
No, that sounds good. That sounds really good. That's my kind of eating. I could eat country ham every day. I bet it's going to be delicious.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, guys, I guess that's going to about wrap up today's video. It's been a busy day for you and for me, even though most of mine wasn't filmed, but...
Well, a whole lot of mine wasn't. They just saw out there.
I guess we're going to sit down and enjoy us a good supper tonight. And anyways, guys, till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.